Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Splat Grind, because the Splat Grind stops for no one, not even double Reef Slider right in front of me. Today I'm going to tell you my Splatoon 3 highlights from the past week. June 24th. I might have missed playing in this single random weapon rotation yesterday, but I don't today. Will I be able to make it to professional with a squeezer, a flingza, a stamper, and a random weapon? Probably not. Let's try it. The first wave I had the flingza at low tide and it was Cohawk charge. I always go to the first cannon I see and stand long enough to beat one boss, because before long I'm going to get targeted by a moz or a flyfish, so I beat one flipper flopper that was right there and move on. There was a flyfish blocking away to the rest of the paths, and not even the flingza can fling that high. We had to tiptoe around it for a long time before we finally beat it. The second wave, I had the Splatoon stamper on low tide, and it was just a regular low tide this time. What was less regular though were these two steelheads coming in. The stamper should have the range to beat this thing, right? The answer is no. And we had to scout it with each bomb. We beat the steelheads to find that there were not one, but two flyfish bringing in cannonballs. Tried to take them out, but I had to swim away when I saw the flyfish missiles coming in, and yes, there were two flyfish. I got flyfish to death, and I just had to make my way back to everyone else to get revived. There was one player left. They got the other two people revived, and I feel like they either kept missing me or just forgot. I stayed alive just long enough to be one of the big shots, but then I got killed again, and we were wiped out with 6 eggs out of 14. So I'm not getting that promotion today, but there's no shame in trying again. The first wave, I had the squeezer at high tide because this game never lets up. The first boss was a scrap, and I thought tap shots do more damage. I should tap shot it. I had stunned it, and I was working my way to the back when the lessers came at me, and it was a tight squeeze, so I had nowhere to go. So I was dead, and I had to make my way to the basket to get revived, and it didn't help that there was already a moz there. We beat the moz, get the eggs in, scrapper comes in, we beat that. We were on easy streak. Despite being high tide, we made it out. The second wave, I had the Grizzco umbrella. Okay. And it was normal tide, thank God. The first boss was a flyfish, and the moment I saw it, I thought, don't mind if I do, and threw a booyah bomb. We got the eggs in, and here comes another flyfish. Was I really going to use both of my specials in one wave? I decided to do it the old-fashioned way. However, I missed, and then I saw another flyfish, and I was out of ink. I wish I could tell you the exact moment things went downhill. I just remember being the last player left with 1 egg below quota. I was running back to revive people when I up and died, and I thought, well, that's it. But then I noticed that someone else had been revived. I must have revived them by accident. We were all up again, and we shoved as many eggs in the basket as we could. After that wave, we needed a break. The third wave, I had the flingza roller, and it was low tide. I was praying to God that it was a giant tornado. And it was. I made it to the crate first, but the flingza isn't the fastest, and there were also lessers annoying me. My teammates eventually showed up. We broke the crate with the power of teamwork, and we were all set up except for, the lessers being dropped out of the sky. Razzle Dazzle would stay by the basket throwing eggs, and the rest of us would pick them up and take them to the basket. Needless to say, we made it out with 63 eggs out of 43. Honestly, I'm just glad I was able to survive the third wave for once. This shouldn't double your egg count in Giant Tornado, because it really is too easy. June 25th. Today is the monthly challenge, which means I need to play Splat Zones and be better than other people. I'm not sure if I can do both, especially with the Big Swing Roller Express, a weapon I've only used for 2 days, but I've been getting my practice with the vertical swing. Let's see if I can do this. The first battle's on Scorch Gorge. I was with Ketchup and And you know what? That's how I was feeling running into that zone, swinging everywhere. I practiced my vertical swings on the moving dummies in the training room, but apparently the players move faster, and sometimes I wouldn't get the timing with the jump and then the fling right, so I ended up doing a horizontal fling and not getting anyone. Then I died, but I still got the assist. I also might have gotten a little preoccupied with splatting people. I'm the support roller, for gosh sakes. I need to roll. I mean, that arrow spray who keeps killing everyone? Not my problem. That is until they shoot me and die. I understand that I'm not talking much about the actual battle. That's because we lost. We were knocked out in 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and I got 3 splats. The second battle was on Eeltail Alley, and the other team had a charger. This would be my first true challenge. My first task would be to roll around the edges behind those barriers so that the filthy casuals in the middle couldn't get me. Didn't make me die any less, and we didn't get control first either. In fact, they were doing pretty good. I don't know how many people the charger killed, but they were doing a good job at scaring us away from the zone. Then they disconnected. I didn't want this to be how we won, but the enemy team couldn't get their footing back after that. We won in 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and I got 4 splats, a new record. The third battle was on Scorch Gorge, and we had to deal with a 10 attack splatter shot, a Neo Splashomatic, and just a regular Big Swig, which is just insulting. That Big Swig got 10 splats, which has me jealous both in a I hate you way and a teach me your ways kind of way. Or maybe it's a kid thing because they had the ink vac. Anyway, this was the kind of battle that makes you not want to play Splat Zones. Your teammates are dying, you're underestimating the blast radius of suction bombs, and the Neo Splash and the 10 attack have teamed up to create the feared sextuple ink strike. And they also apparently decided to draw this out the suffering because they knocked us out in 2 minutes and 51 seconds. I got 3 splats. The fourth battle was on Eeltail Alley, and is 3 rollers a good team comp? 2 of us are Kraken, so it must be good. But it was the other type of battle that makes you not want to play Splat Zones. It wasn't the whole team that was stacked, it was just Poco Fire, the Luna Blaster Neo, who thinks that spawn camping is moral and ethical, which it's not. I might have splatted them once. I got 1 splat, that's all he could do. I don't think we had control once. I wanted to splat Cheesebag the Reflex before they could launch their Tenta missiles again, but then the game ended. We got knocked down in 1 minute and 23 seconds, and as previously mentioned, I got 1 splat. The fifth battle was on Eeltail Alley. We've got a brush, a Splatana, and a roller. 3 melee weapons? I don't see why not. And the enemy team is a dynamo. Fun! After we got wiped out in 20 seconds, I knew this would be another one-sided beatdown just like the other ones. They got their counter down to 24 when we wiped them out. I covered the edges of the stage just outside the zone to get my Inkstorm ready for a little bit more oomph. Now we had control and we weren't about to let it go. I decided this would be the time to inch on an enemy base. I splat one person, I splat another. I see a scary arrow spray coming towards me and turn around. The blobber had made it onto the zone. Then everyone else came in and we lost control at 28. 4 points. You know, you can knock us out right now, I don't mind. Just as I thought that the enemy team was finally going to do us in, we got control back and we ran with it. I don't remember seeing any of the opponents on the zone after that. Might have tried going on an enemy base again and then got scared and ran away. After 4 agonizing minutes and 6 very stupid seconds, we won. I love Splat Zones, except when I'm playing Splat Zones. Then I hate Splat Zones. Wait, when did I get 9 splats? 3 of them might have been assists, and I might have gotten splatted 8 times, but if I didn't get a count assists, I get nowhere. Right now, my splat count is at 26, which is way better than Friday when it was just 6. Maybe I should raise the ceiling, try for 200. I'll just try for 100 for now. June 26th. Now that the challenge is over, we can get back to Turf War with my trusty Big Swig. I sure hope my days are ruined by chargers or spawn campers or anything like that. The first battle was on Mahi Mahi Resort because of course, and the other team had 2 chargers because of course. I was able to get home base covered when I saw ABCD 5675, the arrow spray, charging on away our base. I guess I'll just have to step in and Reap Slider right in front of me. This battle was brutal. The arrow spray and the Splattershot Pro were the ones leading in splats, not the chargers. But amazingly, Glitch the ZNF charger was still perched on that high platform sniping people. The Goo Tuber at least wasn't doing much. I just saw them standing there and I thought, haha, free spot, but then the ZNF got me. Well, in the second half, we had a little bit of hope since we could grab the outer edges easily, but that was all the hope we got. A little. We still lost by 20%, and I got 2 splats. That lobby was lame. Let's join another one. The second battle was on Mahi Mahi Resort. Both sides had a paintbrush, so this should be a pretty even battle. I thought before Edgar, the enemy team's paintbrush, showed up on our side. I swear, if I have to deal with spawn campers 2 battles in a row, I will eat my Big Swig roller. Luckily, my teammates got them in time, and I could happily roll around on the center until I just ran out of center to cover. This is weird. I guess I'll just roll on enemy base, throw my Inkstorm, and die. But my teammates were still there for me to super jump back. Then we had to disconnect with 49 seconds left. Well, the miracle can't last forever. However, we weren't losing our lead. It would be really cool if we could win a 3v4. But then 2 people on the enemy team disconnected, so it was a 3v2 instead. We won by, get this, 54%, and I got 4 splats. This was probably the second weirdest turf war I've ever played. The third battle was on Hammerhead Bridge. I thought we were good with 3 shooters, but why did they have to have 3 arrow sprays? I got done rolling on home base, threw my Inkstorm, and then I turn around. 1 arrow spray and the Splatana Wiper Deco are right there. My reaction time is suffering right now, so I respawn. I'm just gonna go down the middle and double Reef Slider right in front of me. That's right, we're doing this again. And it was somehow even more bottlenecky than Mahi Mahi Resort. It took me a while to get around them, and I did. Sure, they were throwing themselves at our base with no respect for human rights, but victory will not be found on home base. It will be found in the center where the enemies are not. And then I died. We lost by 24%, but I got 1,083 points and 2 splats, which puts me at 34. For some reason, I was way slower at reacting to enemies firing at me than usual. I was happy to just keep rolling along, Maybe I still thought I still had that ink brush speed. I don't know. June 27th. Today, my journey to professional continues. Will I be able to make it with the bamboozler? Probably not. Let's go anyway. The first wave, I had the Explosion at low tide, and it was a Quahog charge round. While I was hoping for Giant Tornado, Quahog charge will just give me more chances to be a flyfish killer. However, I was going to start at the cannons and try and kill a boss from afar. Finally, I was able to find a big shot amidst the Quahogs. I kept trying to hit it while keeping an eye on it. Thought I lost, but as it turns out, it was a pile of eggs now. Time for step 2. Get those eggs in the basket. I swim out, get maybe 1 egg in the cannon, and in comes a steelhead. Try to kill it right away and fail, so I just decide to swim away. Then I get cornered by Quahogs and pushed into the water. And I have to watch as a second big shot comes in. Then, I don't know what happened. Somehow, both the big shot and the steelhead were obliterated at the same time. And I was revived. Must have been a cannon. Then I got the eggs in the cannon, swam into the basket, got all the eggs in the basket, and we won. The second wave, I had the Luna Blaster on normal tide. I found out quickly that as much damage as it has, it doesn't have the range. I can blow up scrappers point blank, but path making is not a strong point, especially when you've decided to circle the perimeter of the stage looking for the person who needs reviving. Actually, I don't know why I'm surprised. I use Clash Blaster all the time. This is just the Clash Blaster, but with more damage and less speed. The third wave, I had the Bamboozler on normal tide. And how am I supposed to recover turf with this dinky thing? You know what? I permanently put myself on tap shot mode. If I can beat the Stinger, I can do anything. Except ink turf, but that's beside the point. We made it out alive with 57 eggs out of 37. That was good. Let's go in again. The first wave, I had the Dark Tetradualies on normal tide. My most manageable weapon in the rotation and the most manageable mode should be doable. I did not take into account the flyfish and my lack of skill in throwing bombs at them. You know what? I should instead focus on this fish stick that's right here. And then I fall off. I try bombing the flyfish again. I miss. I decide to swim up the fish stick, and as I swim up, I look at the sky. And from the amount of missiles, I can figure out one thing. There are 2 flyfish. Anyway, I beat the fish stick, I throw an egg down, I get bombed by the flyfish, there's 1 player left, and I don't know where they are, and we get wiped out with nothing. I am literally this close to leveling up in the catalog. Even if I only clear 1 wave, even if I only get 1 egg, I need to try again. The first wave, I had the Luna Blaster at low tide. Slightly less manageable, but okay. The first boss was a scrapper. We beat it. That's the easy part. The hard part is the Stinger, the Drizzler, the fish stick, and you guessed it, the flyfish. It's nearly impossible to move, much less beat bosses and get eggs. Frijoles is the only one who got any boss kills. We timed out of the first wave as 7 eggs out of 12, and what's worse, my catalog meter didn't even care about those 7 eggs. You know why we only beat the first round? Because there were no flyfish. Not a 1. Flyfish need to be fired. They're only causing problems. June 29th. So I might have missed the fog challenge, but that's because I was assembling the dresser for my apartment. Besides, do you really think I want to play turf war in the fog on Hammerhead Bridge with the Big Swig Roller Express? No thanks. Actually, I'm not playing today either. This move is taking up too much of my time. With the exception of extra work, I'm just going to stop playing Splatoon until I'm in my new apartment. On July 11th, once I'm settled in, I'm going to make a mini Splat Grind with just extra work and the Tower Control Duo Challenge. For now, though, that's it. Thank you for listening to the Splat Grind. Be sure to come back the week after next, I guess, for even more Splatoon craziness, including extra work and the Tower Control Duos Challenge.